You can forget sometimes when you're talking about home improvement that sometimes the home improvement takes place before you ever get to your front door. If you have a walkway, maybe a sidewalk outside of your home, and certainly your driveway, you know if you've lived in your house any length of time that often cracks and changes in that foundation will come along. So who do you turn to? Doug Landry says give him a call. He's here with AFS. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
I have to tell you, we've talked a lot of times over the years, and when I shook your hand this morning, I said, are we going to talk about encapsulations and crawl spaces? And you said, well, we can, but you thought we'd talk concrete repair.
Yeah, we talk concrete repairs sometimes misinformed actually of how to actually fix those issues. A lot of times you'll see those concrete cracks or those like upheavals like we talked about. They do happen a lot of times. With the change of the seasons, you'll start seeing them a lot more, especially with the amount of rain we had over the past few months,
Right.
and now we're already starting to dry out again. So you're going to see some changes in the elevation of the actual concrete, the way it pitches, and then you'll have those toe trips and those tilt kicks and those trip hazards. And that's really what people call us out for the most, is to get rid of those safety concerns.
So you sent some pictures to kind of show people what you're talking about. So like on the walkway, you can see obviously where it's got that elevation issue. Are you going to be raising those two former panels up, or did you bring the third one down?
So we would be, what we call it is our poly renewal. It's actually a poly-based foam that goes in, and it actually allows the concrete to be raised up to a level. Not level in general, but just to a level to meet the other concrete that's around it.
Okay, so I can't possibly go to school to do what you do in 6 minutes.
Correct.
But what is it that you did? Did you go by that liriope, the plants that were there beside the sidewalk? Did you go in and kind of dig under and raise that up?
No, what we do is we actually drill about penny-sized holes, or the size of your pinky, holes through the concrete, and then we'll put in these ports that allow us to inject this two-part foam into the concrete, underneath the concrete actually, and it compresses the soil underneath, and as it compresses the soil underneath, it actually raises the concrete as well. And it happens instantaneously. You can actually watch it happen as you're being installed. It's actually one of the easiest things that people, especially our customers, get the most satisfaction from, because it's an instant response.
Yeah.
And you can see it happen.
It's like dusting.
Exactly.
So is that something that's just bound to happen with time and natural erosion?
Yeah, concrete's really good at getting hard and then cracking. I mean, in all honesty, and all the people that install concrete around any area know what they're doing. It has nothing to do with the quality of the work or how they actually installed the concrete. It's all about the soil underneath. And amount of rain, and like I said, all the changes in the seasons, you're eventually going to have issues with concrete because concrete's heavy.
Right.
So.
Okay, that's one thing. Do you ever have times where people call you and they've had a tree and the roots are growing into the concrete?
Yes, we do have people call us for that. There is absolutely, unfortunately, not much we can do for that, because it is the tree roots itself upheaving the concrete, and that's the actual true name for it, is upheaval. We have to shy away from that because it's a tree issue. They need to have that tree removed, pull out all the root system, and then what we can do is actually come back, because it will cause a void to be there. So we'll come back and fill that void. And that's actually a lot of the things we do as well under concrete, is when we put any kind of pier systems or anything like that to fix perimeter foundations, if they have concrete slabs like a basement, we'll go in and we'll do some lifting with those piers, and then we'll come back with that poly that we talked about, that two-part foam, and fill void so there's no fall in the concrete slab itself.
Okay, so if it was the tree example that I gave, it's a two-part fix.
Correct.
But still in all, you can come out there
Absolutely.
and take a look at it, right?
Absolutely.
If it's something that's relatively minor, the upheaval that you're seeing, that's where you would go back in with that foam type stuff?
Correct, yes.
But if it's like really just cracked and bad, that's a new driveway, right?
Correct. There is a point that we cannot fix because it is so cracked up. It's spiderweb cracked. It's got pieces missing, chunks missing. It's not in the benefit to the customer to have us come out and try to fix this. Whenever, in all honesty, it's more likely to just be a fix for just a new concrete driveway or a new concrete sidewalk or anything like that. However, give us a call. Let us come look at it, because sometimes people will replace those without calling us, and there is absolutely something we can do for them, and they just didn't realize it.
Do you only work with concrete? If you have like a brick pathway coming up to your house, do y'all work with that?
So as long as there's slab underneath a brick pathway or any kind of porch, like you have a brick porch or a tile veneer porch, as long as there's a concrete slab underneath, we can work with that.
Okay. Where you mentioned to me, and maybe on air too, about the tripping hazard associated with this type of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, as you're getting older, you get afraid of that. One fall and you become very worry.
Absolutely. Yeah, we have a lot of customers that call us just for that issue alone, and then we also have a lot of municipalities that will call us, a lot of businesses, because it is a lot cheaper for us to come in and fix those tripping hazards for them than to have the concrete replaced. So we'll come and do that and take care of that problem before it becomes an issue, because we all know if somebody trips on your property, it can lead to some issues. Not only that they get hurt, and that's the one thing we want to avoid, is actually absolutely somebody getting hurt, but then just the liability itself behind that. You want to make sure you can mitigate that as much as possible.
Okay, so if we know that once you're out there, the results on this stuff is instantaneous and fun to watch. What about the lead time in getting you out there right now? Are y'all slammed?
Oh, right now we are. It's seasonal. We go through seasons of, hey, we're going to be super busy, but we're really about 3 to 4 weeks out, so we can get out there pretty quick. And with the poly renewal that we do, because it's an instantaneous fix, and we do a lot of sidewalks and driveways itself, so it's quicker return. So we can actually get out there pretty quick and get on top of that project as fast as possible.
And I guess last question, if it's a new build, is there anything people should know to make sure that they include in that new build to prevent this? Like you mentioned the concrete slab underneath, you want that, right?
Correct.
So that you can do your job in
Correct.
the years to come?
Correct, yeah. If you're putting down any kind of sidewalks or driveways or anything that is going to be a walkway, like if you're going to brick or tile or that stone, if you have the ability to put a slab down, absolutely, because eventually those are going to move, and we can go in and do that poly renewal and get that back up to a nice level where there's no trips or anything like that. On new builds themselves, whenever anybody's pouring new driveways, new slabs, there's not much we can do right then, because the way concrete works, it has to cure, it has a cure time, and like I said before, all our concrete installers around this area do a fantastic job. It's just the nature of what concrete is, because it's heavy, and then the soils that we live in just are not the best soils for these kind of issues.
All right, Doug Landry, thanks for the 101 education.
Yeah.
I almost went to school for it in 6 minutes.
Yeah.
You can contact him at AFS Foundation and Waterproofing. They're in Soddy Daisy. 226-3546 is the phone number. Online, it's afsrepair.com.